This is an erect place to talk about flaccid things.
I'm gonna kick you right in the piss lips.
That hurts my feelings.
I almost brought one. Yeah, should have.
Should have brought what?
Cigar. Figured there might be a den of smoke.
I think there's
I
only.
saw it there,
I
but I
think
wasn't
there's.
gonna. I wasn't gonna
There's a
move.
limit
I
on the
think
amount
there's a
of thick
limit. That's
black
exactly
cock.
what I was going to say. Maybe you guys could
Alright.
take turns with the.
Smoking each other's cigars.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. I like where your head's at.
You like where his head's at now? Wait till we've been here a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Tony, you know Pete. That's Tim, Paulie, Eric.
Tony.
Yeah.
You three, that's Tony.
Right.
Hi.
That's where I start the intro, right there.
Okay.
So supposedly we do a show. that
Supposedly,
that
it
do
occasionally
stuff,
makes it
but
online.
normally we start talking about one topic that leads to about 60.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
Right. So
What's
just,
the tangent for?
so when
Yeah,
we get
exactly.
when we get ready to play game and Ben's there, and
Yes.
then 6 hours later
You
we
start?
start playing the game.
Yeah.
This is the time in between.
Okay. Sure. That makes sense.
So North Carolina.
But yet he keeps getting invited, right? So
Right.
Right.
that's
So fucking no
So
bitch
it's
about
something
shit.
working, exactly.
Roll
Right,
over.
yeah. No, I hear you.
So North Carolina passed a law. Let me start at the beginning because I need to build the preface for the story. The city of Charlotte passed a law saying that you could not discriminate against people based on their gender identity. The state of North Carolina passed a law saying that no constituent government of the state of North Carolina could pass a law offering protections to anybody that weren't protected in state law. Yes.
Could you at least look like you're half-ass in a circle? I mean, it is
Yeah, roll
on it
for
is
it.
on fucking wheels.
Am I in a circle
You
now?
better now?
A little bit.
You're like a semicircle.
Paulie's got to
Paulie-
shift out.
You get Paulie doesn't have to shift out. He's just got to twist a little bit.
Twist a little.
I just did.
Well, the chair, ass munch.
Twist again.
Oh, to
Like
rename
you did
the
last
show,
summer.
it's not the circle of distrust anymore. The half moon of distrust.
It's never been a circle.
It was when we had the tire.
We had the
in
tire.
there.
we still
Should I
had the
twist
missing,
like
the
I did
missing
last
piece.
fall?
Yeah. Okay, so they passed that law. Governor signed it in.
Is that what you wanted?
No,
No, we
no,
wanted you to-
that's not how this works.
Rotating.
You're an expert director.
That's
Jimmy.
better.
Right where I started.
Perfect.
And you can see Paulie's. This is what.
Th-
Oh, that's right. Everything's
this way, bud.
backwards.
Instead of like this,
You still need to get
Yes.
you that hair yet.
More
A little bit more toward Timmy.
instead of
towards
this,
Timmy. Why didn't he just say that?
this.
I don't know.
I did say
Stay
pivot.
right, look, turn,
You said pivot. You didn't say
Pivot
which
to the
way.
left.
Move your crotch towards Timmy
There you
more.
go.
point your
I
penis
still
at
understand
Pete.
that direction.
Fucking God.
There you
There
go.
you go.
There
Are
we
you
Is
happy?
that a better circle?
All right, so they passed the law.
I can't
That
see.
law's been challenged in court.
I can't see Ben now.
It doesn't matter.
You don't want to see me anyway. I'll show you all of me later.
Oh God! If I gotta crank my head way around like this, Jesus,
You don't
So,
want to look. There's not midgets
sweet
involved.
Jesus.
That law's been challenged
Hey,
in
you can
court.
talk to him. He came
The
back. now.
Attorney General of North Carolina is refusing to defend the law in court
The
because
state one.
the state law in court
Okay.
because he says it's a bad law. Okay.
Mhm.
Here's my issue. I agree it's a shitty law, but he is a public official who has taken an oath to do a fucking job that he gets paid for.
Mhm.
And if you don't want to do that fucking job, quit. And everybody's praising him.
Mhm.
And my question is, all you assholes who yelled at Kim Davis for doing the exact same thing are now on the opposite side of that bandwagon just because you disagree with this law and
Yeah.
agreed with the last one.
Oh yeah.
It's not how it fucking works. Oh,
That's
or I'm
exactly
way too
how it works.
lawful.
What the fuck are you talking about? It follows their beliefs or their point of view, so they agree. That's exactly how things
I
work.
take any side that agrees with my predefined
Exactly.
prejudice.
That's how it works, Ben.
See, because
What
like
if-
I
what if
hope
the
he fucking
what if
loses
the populace
case.
said he wanted it gone? What if the populace said, no, this ain't right. Because then he is doing his job by saying, no, this isn't right.
No, his job is to defend it in court. If the populace doesn't agree with it, they should call their
They
legislators,
they elect new officials
Yeah.
who will
overturn the fucking law. Right.
Yep.
Now, I don't agree with the law. I hope he loses in court, but his ass should show up. Throw the
Yeah,
case,
yes.
that's fine.
Yes.
I'm perfectly fine if you want to be lawful evil about it, but you have to be lawful. There's
Yes.
some alignment restriction here if you're the Attorney General. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
You have to at least be lawful to be an Attorney General.
Okay. I saw your post about that. I thought it was kind of funny.
It's true, though.
It is true. I get it.
And
But like I pointed out, it follows someone's predetermined set of beliefs.
I could play devil's advocate though, and say, isn't that part of his power though, deciding which cases he is and isn't going to enforce?
prosecute or enforce,
Right.
but this has been challenged in court.
Right.
He's the attorney for the state. He has to show up.
Oh, he's saying he's not.
He's
going
not
to.
going
Right.
to defend it
yeah.
in court.
Oh, yeah. Do your fucking job. Now, I'm with Ben. Throw the case.
Hey, you
I-
can do a
I
bad job.
agree.
Exactly. Yes, you can do. a
I
bad
agree
job.
if you want to
But he
instruct.
has to do it.
Yeah.
Well, in principle.
You can, right, well, you shouldn't really be intentionally be bad at your job because
No.
I would replace you then because you're a shitty employee.
I don't think you'd be a very good attorney general either.
but I also wouldn't run
Oh,
for
I
attorney
thought you said you
general.
would replace it. Like anybody who does bad at lawyering gets
I'll
replaced
replace
by
it.
you. Yeah.
No, but do your fucking job.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Do your fucking job.
Yeah. If you do it poorly, that's fine. But do your fucking job.
Yeah, I mean, I hope he loses. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah. Because
because I disagree with the law.
yes.
But my disagreement doesn't preclude you from having to fulfill your obligation.
I agree with you in principle.
Well, that's all that should matter. It's a law thing. Principle is what we're
But
talking about.
I hope that more officials start doing that.
You hope
Saying
more.
they're not going to do
You
it
hope
like they
more
already
officials
do.
stop doing
That's
the
an
job.
appointed position, isn't it?
So you're happy about
I
Congress?
was-
So
Yeah. I
No,
think
no,
so.
no.
isn't
At
that
the state level.
isn't that more or less chaos?
Right. So here's my reasoning. Because if a Democrat gets elected president, which is highly likely in the next election,
Looking like it.
by the time their first term is up, there's a good chance that people are going to be going against federal laws, and the states will have set the precedent for them to do so.
People have been going against federal
Seriously.
law for a long time.
Right, they're called criminals.
Yeah, right. No, and they are, and they
The
usually.
government
I'm
calls
just
it
no,
criminals.
you're right, and they
worse.
usually come down. But I'm just saying, then I mean, kind of precedent would be established if enough.
Public officials get to break the law with impunity. We've already. That's
I'm just saying.
It depends on what the law is,
right.
and
Who the
Who-
state official is.
Yeah.
and
Which
who
state
their
it is.
superior
Yeah,
is.
who their superior is. That's
what level you've. I mean, we know you can't send dick pics to hookers. We learned that from Anthony Weiner, right? Like, you didn't get away with
Oh,
that.
perfectly named. Perfectly
I know,
named.
right?
Along those same lines, Trump got a lot of flack yesterday for comments he made in Janesville.
Oh, what did he say?
He said that we should ban abortion and make it illegal,
Really?
and the people who participate, I don't know his exact wording, but
He said the women should.
the women should be punished or something, and everybody's up in arms, and they're like, the women are the victims here, and I'm like, by that same logic, so is the guy who buys crack.
Wait, he's rescinded.
If a woman goes in to get an abortion
But
and
he's
abortions are
rescinded
legal,
that
she
comment.
has broken the law.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
He's already come out
Rescinded
and
the
said,
comments.
Yes.
But he shouldn't
Well,
have.
that's what
If
he
you're
always
making
does.
it. Now, again,
He had to.
I don't think abortion should be illegal.
Otherwise, how would it be
But
a
if
real
we're talking
circus?
about it being illegal,
One of my friends on Facebook talked about that yesterday. He made a point that I haven't seen in a while, which was abortion isn't illegal, but if you're in a car accident and you're found liable for killing a woman who is pregnant with a child, you are charged that they can charge you for that murder,
right.
but an abortion isn't considered a murder.
Well, it is. It is after
20
20
weeks.
weeks.
20 weeks.
Oh, so only after 20 weeks? If you
And
get in a
Trump-
car
No, if you
accident
get into a
with-
car accident, they charge you with murder anyway. But
Right.
then
That's what.
But
No,
then
no,
we're-
and
kind of a
even if,
disconnect
or
there.
if a pregnant woman less than 20 weeks would be shot and killed,
Yeah.
the person who shot and killed them will be tried twice for two
Yeah.
murders.
Okay.
Double
You made
homicide.
that point, which I was like, okay, that's.
No, no.
Well,
right.
and
I've
then-
actually liked that
That's
because
interesting.
it's kind of reinforcing my.
right, that reinforces Pete's belief.
Yeah.
I disagree with that, but it's hard to determine the intent of the dead person.
Oh, yes. That's always hard to determine that. Unless they left a will saying, if I'm killed this way.
Right, you just carry a letter on you at all times. If I murdered, I planned to abort the child.
Exactly.
No, but the idea behind that is if the woman was planning to abort,
She would have. Yeah, okay. Unless
So
she
unless-
can't,
unless
because
she-
of laws that make it very hard for her to do it.
Unless she was driving there.
Right.
Oh,
Unless
yes,
she was driving
on her way.
Or her appointment,
Yes.
or her appointment was later.
Or
Yep.
right, okay, yeah, right.
Right, you find in her calendar
appointment on the book.
an appointment, right? Met with Planned Parenthood to sell dead fetus.
Oh,
Yep.
but what do you do?
Yep,
She's
for-
got an
for
apple.
profit.
Stem cells.
Can't hack the apple. Apple won't,
Well,
help
the
it hack
government
it.
can.
Well, if the appointment was made long enough ago, it'll update to the cloud, and they gave them all the cloud stuff.
Yeah, but could the
Everybody has the
prosecution
cloud stuff.
Yeah, of course.
It's called the fapping.
make the statement
Yeah.
or make the argument that the woman had a chance to change her mind before her actual
They
appointment?
probably would.
I'm assuming.
I mean, if it
That
was a car
actually
accident,
has-
it wouldn't be murder.
That
right?
actually
But-
has
Well,
been
it's
100%
100%
effective.
upheld
Manslaughter,
in
maybe.
every
That's-
jury
I-
that they tried that with.
I haven't
is
seen it
different.
on Law and Order yet, but
No, it has been.
I
That's
would
it.
I would
Yeah.
personally argue that it's part of the divine.
that must have
plan.
been
Twice
the
that I saw.
episode.
It's one of the only channels I see Ion.
Wait,
It's on every
I'll
like
never watch
fourth day.
SVU.
Wait,
I don't
let
think
me-
I've ever
let me
seen
get
that
this
It was
show.
on
Real
5
breaks.
times. I saw the rerun each time.
Yeah,
If
but
God does
was
it,
it the same way? I don't remember.
if God just spontaneously does it, then it's a miscarriage. But if He directs my car across the center line,
Yup.
then I'm a murderer.
Well, we know from Ted Cruz that the body has a natural way.
Oh, God.
Of shutting down.
Is that Ted
Unwanted
Cruz who
thing.
said that?
There's so many of them that have said that.
Oh, it's
Ryan
more than
said
one?
it. Yeah, Paul Ryan said it.
Science
Yay, Wisconsin.
Science backs that
Got a
up,
way
right?
to shut that whole thing
That's a
down.
science thing?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
If she's not enjoying sex, she can't get pregnant. Despite my 2 children.
God damn it.
Trump might have said that, but have you guys heard the commercials that have been on the air for the last fucking
The
week?
ones that are obviously think that we're all rural hicks.
No, I haven't.
No, I'm talking to one where they take excerpts of Trump saying he's pro-choice and it's up to
Well,
all-
actually, but that's what I was going to say, Tim. No, but Trump has been pro-choice
Until
historically,
Until
right? Because I
very
think now
recently.
he's actually
Trump's been a
going,
Democrat
well,
for the
shit,
last 40 years.
They won't vote against me, no matter what I say. I better start
Putting my actual points out there.
putting some different points out there to try to
Reagan
get more.
was a Democrat for
thing.
Trump is a
40
businessman.
years.
He is saying whatever he can.
Exactly.
That's just the way it is. And he's the best at it. Let's face it.
He's got the best words.
Right.
The
Nobody.
best words.
He's got his circus going, and he's the
Did you see the
ringmaster.
quote where he says that? I'm highly educated. I have the best
I have the
words.
best words.
Yeah. Not that
That brings me to the one that I was Cruz's ad for Wisconsin just pisses me off.
Why is that?
Well, first of all, in no way does he say vote for me because his whole ad is if you don't want Donald Trump,
Oh, okay.
don't vote for what's his name, Kasich,
Right.
Yeah.
because voting for Kasich won't get him elected, and then Trump it helps Trump out, which
So-
is actually not true.
Oh, and did you see? I did see that the infomercial where they have the graphics that are not to scale,
Yeah.
and they stack the two of them on top of each other, and it's higher than Trump's, but the numbers add up to like half of what Trump
Yeah,
has.
yeah, right. You've seen that
Because
commercial now?
well, my kids pointed it out. They're like, Dad, at what point does like 500 plus 100 equal more than 800? And I'm like, Trump has the best math.
He never said he has the best man.
He never did. No. he
Well,
didn't
it's
say
not
that.
him doing
But
it.
that's
It's Cruz.
that's his Wisconsin.
So it's,
Don't vote for me because
yes. If you're gonna vote for Kasich, don't vote for Kasich. Vote for me because otherwise
and
you're
don't
gonna
vote for
Trump.
Cruz, or don't vote for Trump. So my other thing is it's not actually true because if you would vote for Kasich, okay, Kasich only needs to win 8 states. Let me finish. Because...
Why do I have to finish?
That's exactly
Well, I
how
thought you were going to say, because it's not enough to get the 1,200.
That's
I'll
exactly
concur
how
when
many
you're
states he
finished.
has right now.
It's not enough to get the 1,200, but it would probably stop Trump from getting the number of delegates that he needed when it hit national convention.
Okay.
And when they hit it, Ryan's going to take control. So they can legally, if they choose to follow their own bylaws, the Republican Party, they can choose somebody who did not have the majority of the votes as long as they won 8 of the states.
Oh,
then
is
they
that
can
somewhere
choose.
in their laws?
It is. It's in their bylaws.
All right.
If they won at least 8 of the states, they can choose them and give them, and put them to the people.
Well,
Well,
they've already
But I have
threatened
a
that.
feeling the Republican Party is not going to.
Both parties have already said it doesn't matter what the people want. The delegates decide.
Yeah,
at
they've
convention.
already said
Right.
that.
And
It's like, fuck
The
you.
Democrats just said it because they hadn't up until this
Right.
point.
But haven't we known that for 200 years?
No, that's the
No.
problem.
Well,
we didn't know it for like.
they at least put on the
150.
facade that they
Well,
were
it made
listening
sense.
to people.
It made sense before modern communications.
Right,
Yes,
but it took
yes.
a month by horseback to get from
Yes.
Wisconsin to tally the votes.
Right. Yes.
But this election on both sides, Democratic and Republican, really is about everybody is sick and tired of both parties.
Yeah, pretty much.
And apparently the parties don't have to listen to anybody
no.
because
Well, duh.
they can put anybody they want to up in there.
But here, this was pointed out on television, and after thinking about it, it's absolutely correct. Donald Trump is actually the perfect Republican candidate.
Because?
He's an outsider. They've been telling us for years they need outsiders.
Yeah.
He's not a career politician. They've been telling us for years we need not career politicians. He's not beholden to special interests. They've been telling us for years. Now,
Because he
granted-
is his own special
Right.
interest.
Now, granted, they said all these things about the Democrats they were battling, but they've spent the last 15 years teaching us
Right.
that outsiders are better, that career politicians shouldn't be trusted, and that people are beholden to special
Yep.
interests,
Whoever paid them.
and that political correctness is what's wrong with this country.
Yeah, is that a
And-
new thing?
No,
Because it
that's-
seems like I
they've been
haven't heard that much until.
Oh,
But,
God,
those,
they've been saying
but
that
all
since
of those
Clinton was in
points, I
charge.
think, are true.
But they've been saying immigrants are stealing our jobs. These
Yeah,
are all
I've heard
things
forever.
that the Republicans have put forth in the past 15 years.
And Trump spouts every
And
one of
Trump
them.
yeah.
gets every one of their buzzwords, and they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
If he
Oh,
would have
hold
said,
on a
That's
second.
just what we told you you
Right.
wanted. We were just trying to get you into bed.
yeah, but if he
Is
would
this what we
have,
sound
needed
like?
to,
Yeah.
he needed to stop at the end of their list, though. But he put his own list on
On the
after
end
that
of it.
too, and that kind of just
Well, but
Throw them off the
even
cliff.
his own list is really just their list taken to the logical conclusion. We're
Yeah.
going to build a wall.
Yep.
We're
It
not
just got 10 feet higher.
Then, right, the Mexican guy says in English, "There's no way I'm paying for that fucking wall." He
Yeah.
learned to swear in English to make his statement. That's how
isn't
much
it
he cares.
ironic though
To be
that
fair.
the Mexican the president, right, in
Mhm.
Mexico,
I think that's who
the
it
Mexican
was.
president said that. Yet he's the one that voted initially to put up the wall on the Guatemalan border.
Except for that picture of the wall on the Guatemalan border that's online.
Isn't the
But they
actual
do have
fucking
one.
wall.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do. They do.
It must not be a very good wall because it can't be seen on Google.
It sure as hell isn't stopping anybody.
You can
They
Google
say
Maps.
it does.
You can
They
see
say
the walls.
it helped a lot with the Guatemalan refugees coming into Mexico, which I just think is funny as hell because
Well,
they don't care about any of the
But
other
do-
refugees
but
that
do
go through
people-
Mexico
well,
and come to the United
we
did
States.
actually-
Guatemala pay for that wall?
No.
No.
What do people do
That's why
when you
Mexico
build a
won't
wall?
Oh,
Exactly.
That's it. All right. Okay.
What do people do when you build a wall?
Buy a ladder,
Underneath.
dig a tunnel.
Yeah, buy a ladder.
They dig a tunnel.
Dig a
Buy a
Say it,
Build a
sledgehammer.
sweet submarine and go up.
And where?
That's
That's
what
what
the
they're paying
cartels
the
do.
canals for.
Right.
Yeah, and they don't cost that much either.
Submarines?
Yeah.
You can get paid a lot to drive
You
them.
can get from Cuba to fucking Florida in a 53 Chevy with 55-gallon drums welded to it to make it float.
Yep.
I think we can find a way.
Yeah, but
I
now
think
we
you
can
could
send
do
you
it.
back.
You could do it.
Yeah.
Before we couldn't send you back.
We'll just have
now we
more
can.
illegal immigrants in like Louisiana and Alabama instead of Texas.
Just-
That's just what's
right,
going to happen.
just go around.
Just go around the wall.
Well,
That's Game of Thrones. Instead of going through the fucking wall, you just go around the goddamn wall.
Don't climb the big thing. There's a fucking water
There's
right there.
water
Get
right next to
giants?
it. Yeah.
Oh, if we got
Ice
giants, I would
giants.
totally be opposed to the wall. Giants would be awesome.
Big Mexican giants.
I mean, assuming they're on
Big
my side.
sombreros.
Luchadors.
Yeah.
Do you guys hear what Mississippi's House sent to the Senate now? And
No.
a vote of 80 to 39.
Ooh.
Bringing back the firing squad.
Oh,
Nice.
really? Okay, I'm fine with that.
Fuck yeah.
If you choose
Isn't
it,
Mississippi
whatever.
the same one that
Yeah, but then
same
somebody has to
state
shoot
that
me.
wanted to
I'll
bring
do
back-
it.
Up top.
You don't
I
even
haven't
need
done
these
it.
fuckers next to me. You can watch me pull
Well,
the trigger.
I was
the
gonna say
firing
because right
squad,
now
but
3
it would
quarters
be
of the firing
easier
squad
because they're
shoots
not
flames.
Yeah, well, that's the way it used to
How do
work,
you
at
shoot
least.
women
Or if they
and children?
still do.
Don't
You
need
don't
them.
use them so much.
Yep.
They actually they voted on it and sent it back because they figure lethal injection is actually more inhumane and expensive
It
than
is.
a firing squad.
Bullets
I-
are
it
really
is.
cheap now.
I
fuck
think
yeah.
we just. I
The
think we
22
need,
behind the ear. You're
Right,
done.
you're done.
you just need to execute people in the same manner that they accosted their
I wonder,
victims.
could you use that
Piano
tool
and
that
Foley.
they use at the slaughtering houses?
No, hear me out.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Wildly
It doesn't
Coyote.
slaughter. It doesn't
If
fire a
you-
bullet, right?
If
It's
you
a
rape
pneumatic.
someone to death with
Foley,
a
you
red
know what
hot
those are.
metal
Something.
One of
dildo,
you or Eric were talking
then that's how
about
you
just
should
a
be
pin.
killed because at least people would
Just
stop
like a
doing
It's a
crazy
pneumatic
shit.
Yeah.
gun.
If you know it's going to be returned back
probably
upon you.
somebody who's raping people with
Yeah,
a
and it
red hot
doesn't
metal
shoot it as a
dildo
projectile,
wants
it
to
just
No,
shoot
it
it
just
out
drives
with
it
a
in the
hot
back
metal
of your head.
Touche.
Comes
Pull
right
it
back
right
up.
out.
Good
Can you
point.
reuse
That's
it over and
cheaper
over
than
again?
Over and
bullets.
over and
I
over
know,
again.
and it's air. So how much does an air compressor cost?
Oh, you talking about the
$1,000.
thing
The
from-
cow thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I say use the cow thing on.
It worked well
The
in
problem with the death
No
penalty is
Country
the
for Old Men.
ridiculous
Works on the
amount of
cows.
That
wrong
works well on the cows.
convictions.
I'm pretty sure their skulls are thicker than ours.
But you have to give it the recidivism rate is much lower.
God, I hope so.
To my knowledge, no one who's ever been put to death for committing a crime has committed that crime again.
Fair point.
I wonder. You'd have to know a list of
Well,
the possible death penalties, right? Is there something they could do post-mortem?
I want to know how many
Like have put a
guys
bomb
and how long
somewhere.
it takes
Oh,
for
been
most
executed,
of
and
has
Obama
Obama
pardoned to be convicted of drug crimes
But
again.
Part
Because those weren't little drug crimes that they were.
Well,
a couple of them were smaller, but some
part-
of them weren't.
part of the issue with the death penalty is we
Helps with overcrowding.
well.
Yeah.
You know what else helps with overcrowding?
Not putting so many
putting
people in
people in
fucking
jail
prison.
who didn't fucking do something terrible.
Agreed.
Because you show me a guy who's baked off his ass at home, and I'll show you somebody who's not causing a fucking problem for the rest of us.
And you're right.
Okay.
Why he's
Unless-
baked off his ass is not. But when he has to steal to get more stuff to be baked off his ass, then he might be a problem.
Well, then
So, are you for or against the harsher penalties on drug dealers and people obtaining drugs near schools?
I want to see.
I don't
this
think there
logic.
should be any
No.
fucking drug laws.
Legalize it. That's
No.
what I say.
Well, yeah, no. We've
all
down
said
road.
that.
Yeah,
We've all been
No,
down
I'm
that
not
road.
in
Legalize
favor.
and tax the fuck. out.
Exactly.
I'm not in favor of harsher penalties because you do it at a school.
Right.
I'm not
because
saying
most
because you
of
do
the
it at a
dealers
school
now
because
are
there
those
is an
15-year-olds.
area.
Sorry.
Right,
Yeah,
because my
proximity.
house is within that area.
Wait, what? What are you doing?
No, within 1,000 feet of a school. Within 1,000 feet of a school,
He's
you
in
get
the safe
additional.
zone.
It was funny that you said
Safe
the
space.
reason was that.
Well, I know that because the house across the street from us, those people have been busted 3 times for selling what I hope is marijuana, or they're in the wrong neighborhood.
Yeah.
Because last time they pulled out 5 Jane Sport big backpacks, like I'm going mountaining backpack,
Bags.
filled with product. And my wife's like, "What do you think they were selling?" I'm like, "That better be pot, because if that's that much volume
Someone's
of
fucking
anything
dead.
else,
That's a lot.
Pills.
that's a ton."
It could be pills.
That could be.
Besides the fact of how we
yeah.
all
Like
feel
or something.
about legalizing it, the
Makes
law
worth a lot
is
of
the
money.
law. So should
Right.
they take that
Yeah.
off the law? That
Well, this
defines
kinda
doubles?
This goes back to Ben's thing. So you can just ignore the law and we don't have to punish them. So
Well, hey, no,
Look,
I actually had a
Ben didn't
legitimate
say
question.
that,
Don't make
ever.
it go stupid on me.
well, that's kind of what he's saying.
No, Ben, I never said that. I actually said the exact opposite.
What I'm asking is
The
if
law
someone
is the
gets-
law.
If someone
We need to change it legitimately.
That's what I'm asking. Should they change that law?
Yes.
Because I know most of us sitting here, unless you do something retarded, drugs should be legal and you shouldn't be sitting in
Yeah.
jail or prison for it anyway. But the law is that you can be. So
It
you're
is
saying
illegal now.
Here, right.
Yeah.
So you're saying that you should not be.
It should not be an increased penalty based on your physical location.
No.
A crime is X bad, it should warrant X punishment.
Regardless.
Yeah.
If you want to pass a law that
Regardless
says...
of any
I don't think I
number
agree
of
with that.
offense,
Regardless of what?
any number of
Right.
offense,
Well, now you're talking about repeat offenders.
Well, let's go back to what you said
Rather than
before in his
location.
thing, though. You said that you don't think that for doing drugs they should go to jail.
well, that was his personal belief.
Well,
that
and I
it's
specifically
against the
said
law.
baked off their ass,
There's a lot
which
of
is
laws that we
specifically
have that
people who
don't
are
put you in
high on
jail.
pot. You don't get baked on crack. You don't get baked on
acid.
heroin.
That's
Baked is specifically
terminology.
marijuana. I'm saying people who are high on pot
So
shouldn't
only
be in
for
jail.
pot.
That's what
If you're
that
in
was my
jail
statement.
for anything other than pot.
Which is a large percentage of people who are in
Yeah.
jail.
Everybody that was on Obama's list that he pardoned, by the way, none of them were marijuana.
Oh, really?
They were all crack cocaine
Okay.
and heroin.
If you're just
Okay.
doing it,
And you're not committing another. If you're not stealing, which is a crime in and of itself. If you're not driving erratically, which is a crime in and of itself. We made drugs illegal because we don't like behaviors that we associate with people who are high.
now I can argue against that too.
But those behaviors were illegal. Well, yeah, I personally think we made drugs illegal because Nixon hated poor black people. But that's a whole other
So
story.
do you think that
There's
Why?
a reason
Because the
that
hemp industry was
when the
punishment
economy,
should
the
be
economy
more
goes down,
near school
drug-related
than-
offenses.
Go
they're
up?
not?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Personally,
Yeah.
I think weed should be legal all over the place. But I also personally believe that if you legalize marijuana, just legalize everything else.
Thank you.
And when
Yes.
if you break a drug law, if there is, or you break a law and you're under the influence of drugs, I don't give a shit if it's your first offense or 90th offense. One fucking time.
Including alcohol?
Yeah.
I'm with
Because I don't that 5 strikes
I'm fine
you're
with
out
that. I
bullshit.
don't drink, so don't bother me.
Well, I just mean that 5 strikes and you're out. To me, is horseshit.
Yeah.
1 DUI. This is what it is.
But that's the right, and that's the problem with.
I don't like the gray area. Personally, that's just me. But
I think our world is filled with gray area. I
unfortunately,
think that's
yes.
part of the problem is
And not enough gray matter.
right. I love that.
That's good.
That should be a T-shirt.
Oh fuck! My buddy yesterday just sent it out of the blue, and we didn't get it for a second. He's like, "Someone should make a T-shirt that's got a dryer on it, just like some hamburger meat in it, or a bunch of lemons, throwing a party." I'm like, somebody has to make those fucking shirts.
I'm sure T-shirt hell has them.
Maybe I would hope
If not,
so.
we can send them a message.
Mhm.
You know, the one thing that actually intrigued me about this Mississippi going back to the house, wasn't there not just some guy in some jackass state that they, and I swear we talked about it, where they
Death
for
penalty.
hours tried getting a needle in him and they kept rolling his veins and
Oh, yeah,
missing
yeah, yeah.
and poking his bone.
That was a
really?
couple months ago,
I wonder
Yeah.
if they actually are doing this partly because of that.
or a few months ago, probably is more correct.
Well, one of the
Utah, you
problems
get
is
hung, I think.
we couldn't get the medication that puts you to sleep. Realistically, if you just give somebody enough sedative, they die. So,
You mean to tell me
Realistically, if
you
you wait long
can't
enough.
go to Walmart
Touche.
and buy starting fluid?
Benadryl. Motherfuckers die from diphenhydramine overdoses all the
Why
time.
don't you just give them nitrous oxide? They'll laugh themselves to death.
There you go.
And it'll be much more fun to watch.
Yep.
Think of
They
the
had
people
a
in the
gas
gallery.
chamber.
With nitrous?
I don't know what was in it.
Cyclope.
I think they should bring it back.
Bob
I think they
with
should
their
bring back the
lines.
fire squad. Unless criminals everywhere started buying Stephen Avery bleach, there's not going to be a problem.
Oh, no, there is, because DNA is exclusatory, not inclusatory. Despite what people think. It's not magic. DNA can
No,
prove
it's
you
not
weren't
magic.
there, but it can't actually prove you were.
It could be part of the case, though.
It can be part of the case, but right now, because the average person, when you hear 99.99%, you think that's 100%.
Yeah.
And if you commit a crime and they find your DNA and they're like, it's a 99.99% match for Tim. In Green Bay alone, that means there's 100 other people that would have matched statistically. And that's just the city of Green Bay. That's not counting Ashwaubenon,
Nope.
Bellevue, Howard, Hobart, De Pere, any of that. Because it's still a 0.1 per. There's and during a Packer game.
It's a pretty good chance.
Well, it's a pretty good chance it's you.
But it's not guaranteed.
But it's not guaranteed.
It's not 100%.
And you watch, I've bitched about this a million times, shows like NCIS where they took a picture of the tire of the truck that was used to cross the Mexican border and narrowed it down to 8 trucks in LA from a tire imprint.
Like, bullshit.
No. Because first off, the truck crossing the Mexican border probably didn't have 4 matching tires.
Yeah.
Second of all, you can say this tire is made by this manufacturer and it was standard issue on this type of car. But you can't guarantee that car, the tires weren't switched by the guy who bought it. You can't guarantee Tim didn't buy Mudders and then sell his tires that came stock.
I don't think that they convicted the person on the tire.
No, they
Also,
found
it's a
him
TV
based
show.
on that tire.
Right.
Well, right,
and
but
it is a
terrible one
TV
of
show.
that.
But it's TV shows like that, like Law and Order,
That makes stupid
CSI.
people think they understand the law. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But what does that
and
do with-
and make them be on a jury that then convict people thinking that they have the right individual, and maybe they don't have the correct.
I don't think
evidence.
TV made people any worse at being on a jury.
I think it made them more gullible to certain evidence. To
I'll tell you what,
prosecution.
if somebody said that they had matching DNA evidence and I was on the jury and that they said it was 99.99% sure that it was this person, I don't give a damn. I'm thinking it's this person. Now, I'm going to listen to the other evidence that they have, and if there's other evidence that's also kind of making me think that's this person, I'm going to say, yeah, it's
Well,
fucking
right,
that person.
if there's other evidence that makes you think it's that person,
Corroborate.
I agree. If there's
Right.
corroborating
Right. And
evidence,
that's a
I
really-
agree.
Like, you
And that's
find
a very
blood,
heavy
it's his
co-
DNA. He has a cut.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
But
yeah.
But if you're just talking about DNA itself, do you know how much DNA we track into Tim's garage every Wednesday?
Oh, way more than he knows.
Oh, yeah.
You want to bet there's a vacuum in the house?
I just, because you walk places, you get stuff on your shoes, that there's trace evidence. If you've ever been in a hotel room, you have no idea whose DNA you're
Do
carrying.
not bring a black
Black
light.
light.
I just, so,
You may want to. I don't know.
That's why I lick the
That
sheets.
might be your fetish.
it's, the comforter is definitely the thing you want to be licking.
Yeah.
That's the part. I'm not a big fan. I used to be a big fan of the death penalty. I'm not anymore. I do find it ironic that as a general rule, and now I'm doing the exact opposite, so that's also ironic. The same people who seem to be against abortion seem to be in favor of the death penalty,
Yep.
which
That's
is
a George
odd to
Carlin
me.
bit.
I'm okay with both.
Kill them all.
I would much rather let a guilty person live than kill an innocent person. I would rather err on that side.
Not me. But I don't care if this goes on air. You're looking at the same jackass that went, Twin Towers went down? Jobs just opened up.
Well,
I don't know any of those people.
How does that work? Because the employers were also gone. too.
yeah.
Not
Yeah,
really,
they
because
built
there's,
And the building was
They
gone.
built the
Yeah,
museum in
There's
its
a
place.
lot of work that needs to be done.
they built the museum in its place.
Took away business
Construction
jobs, made construction jobs. Got it. That was just a transfer.
That's not a good thing. You took away white collar work to make blue collar
yeah,
work.
exactly. That's exactly what happened.
That's not good.
We need more manufacturing in this country. There, we can bring
clearly
the
as the
argument.
Jews.
I just got the practical guide to racism for my birthday.
Okay.
Because you needed that.
It's practically hilarious.
Thank you. Because apparently I'm the family resident racist.
Oh yeah? Who fit the definition of cracker absolutely perfectly. So much that Tim's like, cracker, and I'm like, I'm not a cracker. Hang on. Let me look it up in my glossary. And I read it and I'm like, a white person. Usually one who has a love of Ritz crackers. And he's like, fuck you. And then he picked it up and he's like, son of a bitch, I'm a cracker. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, I got one for you.
All
Since
right.
we're talking about laws,
Yeah.
what do you think about the fact that felons can't vote?
I'm fine with it.
I am not.
I am not either.
I don't think I am.
Because you can make, there's a lot of felonies that are bullshit, and you can make
Oh,
a mistake
yes.
at 18 years old, and not for all of a sudden now you can't vote for the rest of your life, even though
I like
fuck,
him. You
there's
should
shit-
come back.
There's shit I mean, I'm sure fucking piracy, right? Like, you download enough fucking music when you're 15, 16, 17 years old, they find it on you, now you can't vote for the rest of your life because, you know, that makes sense.
Well, also
Because your
Well,
love of
are you arguing
music-
against what should be really a felony and what shouldn't be a felony then?
That too, but also
Well,
the
which
mistakes you make both. The mistakes you make when you're young and stupid.
I would say that's implying that people never change.
Right. So when you're 18 and you get
So you
caught
might
with,
as well just kill every felon. We might as well just execute every one of them.
Well,
Because
my,
they're not going to do any good.
my
They're no
question
longer
would
a
be,
functional member of
Well,
society.
it doesn't matter
Because you can't vote?
No,
Wait,
because
wait.
they're never going to change. They've already committed their crime. If they have life in jail, why fucking leave them in jail?
It doesn't
Fucking
matter
kill
how
them.
Well,
you
if they have
vote.
life in
It's
jail,
the
that's a
delegates.
different story.
Well,
Oh,
what
sorry.
is the
Wait,
difference?
wait, wait.
Doesn't
Is
matter.
There
it
is
jail or
there
prison?
is a different. Well, what?
Is it jail or prison
Depends on
if
what
they
you're
have a
voting
life
for.
term?
I'm at prison.
It's
That'd
prison.
be prison.
Prison,
Okay.
yeah.
But even if you go like me, when I got put away, if it wasn't for the DA and shit, I would have had 6 felonies, 12 misdemeanors. I probably got one of the squeakiest clean assholes of anybody I grew up with.
do you
to
know? Do you know what you should have done? Shot at a school bus. I hear you get off scot-free for that.
Depending.
You only use it as a backing. You don't shoot at the
Oh yeah,
school
you have
bus.
to shoot at the
'Cause
dog and
even
hit the
that-
school bus.
No,
You got to bring that up when he's here because now we're gonna have to listen to this fucking story again.
But even that, okay, where thankfully no one got hurt, and it was a huge amount of stupidity.
Even the
Say
dog
it was a
walked
kid.
away.
Yeah, even the dog walked away. Let's say it was a kid who just
thank God.
grabbed a gun and
Yeah.
was playing Cowboys and Indians,
Yep.
casino, not tech support,
Yep.
and the gun went off city limits. That's a felony.
I just want to point
Not
that
for a
out.
kid.
How old is the kid?
Good point about
Right.
racism.
Probably not
Actually,
for
in the state of Wisconsin, 12 years old, you can try
Right.
a child as an
Yeah.
adult.
Right. So if he was under 12, then he's good.
Well, yeah, but if you...
Well, another question is, we need to define, because having a felony on your record does a lot of things.
Yes.
Right to vote,
But
gun
the biggest
ownership.
one to
Gun
me
ownership.
is the
Well,
right to
even
vote because
getting a
that,
job.
that removes your ability to influence the
The
future.
delegates,
My
because the
question
delegates
is-
are the
It
ones that
depends
decide.
on what you're voting
It doesn't
for.
matter who
Not
you're
every-
voting for
every-
or
not-
what you're voting for.
Not
Even
every
delegates-
election-
Setting that point aside, the fact that they've just told us that our votes don't fucking matter anyway.
But not
Right,
every
but that's
election.
Only
Exactly.
on a national level.
Yes.
Well,
that is
and
only...
I
Yes,
don't-
on
But we
a
knew
national
that for
And
200
Ben-
years.
Ben said jobs, which brings up another good point, because if you're not going to give somebody a job as a cashier because they have a felony, and I find out that they're a drug dealer, that motherfucker knows how to count money.
No shit.
Yeah.
You want that son of a bitch as a cashier.
Businessman, right there, thinks outside the box.
Yep.
But here's my
Not all
question.
businesses do that.
Well, but
Not
here's
all,
my question:
no.
if they've gone to jail and served their time,
That was their punishment.
they've paid their debt to society. Then they should have paid
Partially.
their debt.
Oh,
No,
assuming
partially.
Once
Because
they're
the other
off
part is
paper.
these other
Once
things.
they're off paper. But,
well, currently.
but that's
Yes.
what I'm saying.
Well, but it is part of it.
If we're gonna say that, if we're gonna say he's paid his debt to society,
Not
then he
being
needs
able to vote isn't a punishment, though.
Why?
It's actually a removal of a right.
Yes. Yeah.
A permanent removal of a right.
And I mean,
Actually,
certainly on a case by
What?
case.
Yeah, what do you mean it's not a right? It's in the
Oh, I had to-
Constitution. The right to vote is in the Constitution if you're over 18.
On a case by case basis, which you can't do with a law, right? But I can
Yeah.
certainly see crimes and criminals that shouldn't be allowed to vote,
Right.
right? And or if you're mentally unfit for whatever reason.
I
blah,
thought the
blah, blah, blah.
Constitution said you had to be a white, rich landowner.
Well, no, we amended that.
Oh, I missed that one.
Yes, I can vote either way.
Yeah, we were fine the whole time.
First, you had to be white and have a penis. So I've qualified for a long time. It doesn't say it has to be a big penis. So I'm okay.
But to
Actually,
me-
I think it just says male, so the whole gender identity thing would have caused a
Oh,
shitstorm
wow.
back in
No,
the
it wouldn't have,
1780s.
because there would have just been lynching.
Yeah. Yep, good point.
Buggery, they call it.
Okay,
So you're removing an entire subset of people from the election
And-
process, the right
and
to choose
usually-
guide the government.
And usually poor people, because let's
Yes,
face
yes.
it, rich people commit heinous crimes that they just don't get punished for.
Well, and even if you get caught
Well,
on
usually-
something, you can afford a lawyer to get it
Well,
pled down
Enron.
or whatever.
The Enron guy didn't serve any jail time. He fucking knew what was going on.
Sure,
That should have been a goddamn felony.
sure.
Or they pay a fine, which
It should have been. But
Yes,
he bought his
absolutely.
way out of the felony.
Right, because the justice has a color in America and it's green.
That's right.
Agreed.
And that's bullshit.
Not America.
The
Yeah,
world.
everywhere. Yeah.
Well, but I don't care
Yeah.
about the rest of the world because
yeah,
I don't live in
don't
it.
live there. Yep.
So if you're saying it
I'm
takes
kidding.
away rights, you're right to vote if you're a felon. Depending on how you perceive the Bill of Rights, they're then taking away your right
Well-
to bear arms too.
And
They do.
And right.
Sometimes.
But the
But
other
that's
thing
that's a
is,
state by state thing. Sometimes.
what is the difference between larceny and grand larceny?
I think it just depends. Yeah.
Some of them
One's
you
a
can petition
thousand times
for
higher
grand
than the other one.
Okay, but
Grand
I don't
larceny is
know.
about 1,000 times more than regular larceny.
it's actually not. It's the value of goods, but the value of goods hasn't changed in the law for a long
Oh,
fucking
okay.
time.
Oh, so the amount of money.
So
that
it's
goods
like
are worth, yeah.
over $100.
It
I don't
hasn't
know what
increased
the
with
actual thing
inflation.
is. It's
And
like,
I'm sure that varies too, right?
well, but
Well, federal.
legally,
grand larceny.
grand larceny is over a certain
How do you
dollar
permit
amount in value.
federal grand larceny.
I don't know.
Go across state lines and steal something?
That would be federal
think
grand
that's
Steal
larceny.
federal property.
Yeah.
Occupy a bird sanctuary with a gift shop.
No, they just shoot you for that. After you try and run cops over.
They can still
And
hang
our-
me in
but you can
Texas
resell
for
all the
stealing a
dildos you
horse.
get.
And
What's
are
that,
killed
Paulie?
execution
They can
style
still
in the
hang you
snow.
in Texas for
In
stealing a
Kansas,
horse.
in
Really?
Kansas, they did
I think
that.
so.
What?
They
Unless they
confiscated
just
money
recently
from or
changed the law.
confiscated the stock of a sex shop that was owed back taxes.
Oh yeah.
And then the
Terrible.
state of Kansas was
Did they-
behind or had a revenue shortfall.
They sell on
So they
off dildos?
auctioned off all
Woo!
the sex toys to make up
That had
their
to be a good one.
shortfall.
Cars and dildos.
I need to
And
look up.
douches.
What are you looking up?
I
The
assume,
difference
I assume
between
politicians
larceny and
are there.
grand larceny.
Yeah, they have to.
There's a
Politicians
dollar
are
amount, I know.
But
Oh, for
that's
grand
state
larceny?
by. I don't think that's a federal definition. I think that's a local definition.
That probably is.
Or
It's probably
maybe
state by
state by
state.
state.
It's probably state.
You know,
Okay.
the whole
Just-
felony
I might be wrong.
thing, if
Just,
you're being
just like
tried,
the voting thing, you can. There are some states where you can petition to get your
Right,
voting
you can
rights
petition
back.
to get your rights back
Yep.
to vote if you're a felon.
You can.
But
So
I
it is
agree
part
that
of
there
the
are
punishment.
felonies that should
I'm
not
not
be.
disagreeing with
I don't think it should
you
be.
saying that. I'm disagreeing with the
The fact that it is.
yes.
Well, there are felonies that shouldn't be felonies.
Yeah.
Yes.
well, there's some crimes that
Should
shouldn't
be
be
crimes.
pled down to felonies from felonies either.
That's true.
I mean, there was a nurse in New York that just gave up her license in order to not be charged with felonies for taking dick pics of
Oh,
patients.
right. I saw that.
Oh,
So,
really? That's
yeah.
how she got out of it?
I mean, how was that fair? She lost her New York license.
oh, yeah, she can get it
Don't
somewhere
necessarily.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah, she could move
No.
somewhere else. And
Yeah, but nobody's
But they're
gonna
probably
hire
not going
her.
to reinstate her.
Nobody's gonna fucking hire her.
Depends on if it's a sealed court case or not.
And if it's a special kind of
Well,
hospital.
it probably isn't because
I was just gonna say it can't be that sealed because we know about
We
it.
know about it.
It's actually, I turned it off when I came on. It was actually on my computer. She's a good looking
somewhere
nurse.
else, change
A
their
crime
name,
or theft of a
reapply.
person's property, including
Oh,
money,
they'll find her.
with a value over
They'll do a
$500,
background check, especially
That
now.
grand-
as
Right.
distinguished from petty larceny, which is a value
'Cause they
below
wanna know
the
what
$500
drug offenses
limit.
do.
So
It's
everything is grand
$500.
larceny.
Some states only recognize the crime of larceny, but draw a line between felony punishable by state prison time and misdemeanor by local prison time. But the official legal definition is
$500.
$500. $500 was a lot different in 1981 than it is today.
Yeah.
Is that when that was written?
1981 is when that definition, the last time it was updated.
Hey, yeah, it is.
So you're talking about the difference between a car and a TV.
Yeah, because that's right. Because
81
back
is
then, I think in '81, what cost of a house or an average, 3-bedroom home was like $50,000-$60,000 instead of.
So
That's gotta be state by state.
No. States decide whether or not larceny and some states just have larceny
And don't
and then
recognize.
distinguish the value as saying larceny over a certain value as felony. But grand larceny is anything over $500. Some states just don't have a separate grand larceny category.
Or they just say it's a felony if
Right.
it's this.
It's felony larceny versus misdemeanor larceny. But to say grand larceny is over $500 is a... Dude.
That's fucking nothing.
Another couple of years, they'll
They
stick
don't
their
actually
gum.
use that here.
What?
They don't use that here.
Right, we just have larceny. You stole some shit.
No, you just have theft of removable property.
Oh,
less
yeah.
than $1,000 or theft of removable property over $1,000.
But even that, $1,000.
Well, that's a grand.
It's a really nice TV.
Isn't that what I said?
Yeah.
I think I said $1,000.
And really, so Tim and I bought identical TVs. I bought mine on Black Friday. Got mine for $900. Tim got his for $1,010 because he bought his the Tuesday after. You steal both of our TVs and you get one count of theft of movable property. Felony theft.
They go off the value.
Right, they go off the value.
They go off the value of what it is at the time it is stolen.
Oh, you can hang on
Not
that.
when you buy it.
So you'd be like, no.
The car dealer is a lawyer.
I got it. No, Rick Harrison.
Oh yeah, fuck
For
yeah.
Pawn Stars, I'm bringing that motherfucker
I
in
got an
every
extra.
time.
I had about $5.
Right, well, you better not have the Price is Right people in there because
No.
damn, a can of Spam is like $1,000.
But I,
Fair California.
but you
Yeah,
go,
right.
Cost of living.
can you imagine that? But what did he steal? Well, he sold this really nice TV. I got a buddy of mine who specializes in TVs.
You got ripped off,
I
man.
don't call it expert witness. We call him Big Hoss.
And then he comes in, and then the guy's like, "Well, the prosecution said the value of that television was $2,000." Sure, if you got your own auction house.
Yeah, like, hey, you gotta pay fees for that auction.
And the state's like, yeah, we do.
Yeah, we
Oh, touche.
do. All the fucking time.
Maybe they should just reduce instead of having, because you have felonies up to class
Anybody else?
I.
Yes, please.
Class I felonies now? I mean, that's just fucking ridiculous. Have a felony be a fucking felony.
Yeah.
What do you need a class for?
Well, I think that's kind of really the part of the root of it is that what is a felony and what isn't a felony probably really needs to be relooked at.
When I got in trouble, there was 3. A, B, and C. They're up to fucking I.
Yeah.
I know, because the guy shooting
That's
the dog
like the
got an
ninth
I
letter
felony.
in the alphabet.
They still got a bunch to go.
Yeah.
They could go
They got
A,
plenty.
B, B,
Right, it could be an Excel
quadruple
spreadsheet.
Z.
We don't have to worry about them making any new ones for the next like 6 months anyway, though. They're just gonna be tied on everything. They tied on some vote.
Yeah.
I saw it on Facebook. I didn't look into it because I saw Ford 4 and I'm like, yep. Pretty much figured that's what's gonna happen from now until they elect somebody new, or not until they elect.
Well,
somebody, until they
actually,
appoint someone.
they started
Only one person.
so far, but there's another one.
Yeah, they put someone forward.
But it doesn't.
There's a couple.
No, one of the Republicans met
They're
with
gonna
Merrick.
have to back down and say, yeah, we're gonna have to have a vote one way or the other.
I don't know. I think that
Do
you're
your
giving
fucking
the
job.
instructionist too much credit, Paulie.
I think that I gotta give them a little credit because they are starting.
I think you should give them very little credit.
That's what they're getting, a little credit.
I think they could hold out.
For
the
what are we
rest of
talking
the year.
about now?
Nominating the Supreme Court judge.
It's
This
already
happens
been
all the
nominated.
time, though.
What?
Republican and Democrat, if it's the end of, especially if it's the year before the next election, this has happened no matter which houses have controlled, no matter which type of president, Republican or Democrat. It always happens, and they always push it to the
And I'm
incumbent.
going to say the same thing every
There's no
time.
difference this year.
Right, but it doesn't matter. You have a fucking job to do.
Do
You
your
get paid
fucking
to do a
job.
fucking job. Do your fucking
They
job.
don't have to anymore. They don't even have to pass a budget anymore.
Who,
apparently.
who was it? The Democrats
They did
or the
it. The
Republicans?
Reagan appointed somebody in '87, and he was, of course, that was the year before.
Right. He appointed him in '87, but they didn't actually.
They voted him in.
confirm him until '88.
Right. Well, no, it had to be. Well, '88 would have been.
Oh, it would have been the next time.
Yeah. So.
And it would be different if it was
Right.
after November, because his lame
So
duck
they've
doesn't
they've
doesn't
done it.
This
start
happens
till
all
we
the damn
vote.
They've
time.
done it,
I don't know why
and-
they're making
and
a
the-
big
He
deal
wasn't
of
a
it.
lame duck ever, though.
What?
Reagan?
No. I'm saying it would be different if they were making this argument in November after the election.
Right.
when we already have picked a new president and we're just
But
killing
that isn't
time
the
till we
case.
swear
But
in.
that isn't the case.
But that's not the case.
No.
Well,
And
they did this to Bush too.
they come
Yeah.
up with
Yeah,
this
I mean, this
stupid.
happens all
Right,
the
Yeah.
but
time.
we as
And
people
we're just
should.
making a bigger deal of it because Obama's the president right now.
Because it gives them something to talk about. Are you fucking kidding? They're making a big deal of it because there's nothing else to
But
talk
they
about
didn't-
except
well,
Donald Trump acting
They
like
don't
an
make
asshole.
as big of a deal about it though in the news when it's a Republican president that they're doing it to. They haven't historically.
They did with Bush.
Well,
That's a
They
huge
did with
deal.
Bush.
There was a news blip about it, and
Oh,
then
bullshit.
it got kind of.
It was a huge deal.
How long
It
has
went
it
on
been?
for weeks.
Bush was the last.
I
one
remember when
think
I was
Yeah.
in fucking high school. I
I
couldn't
was going to
goddamn
say
vote
I
then.
would have been.
I think
in
Bush
high
was the
school.
last one.
No,
Bush was president.
Senior.
Senior.
Or Bush Junior.
Oh, Junior.
Yeah. Junior had
yeah,
it.
in
And
2008.
Reagan had it before.
Who did he appoint?
I could tell you if I knew the name. If I looked at the names.
Stoudemire, Scalia's dad, the black one, the old,
He was a Hispanic gentleman.
the old
The
lady,
Hispanic gentleman?
Yes.
the. They have a very diverse
If
group.
I had internet, I could tell you. But it was. They went through a whole, like they weren't going to confirm him, then they did. We're going to, and then they weren't, and then they looked at other options, and then they came back to him.
You're not going to need heat pretty soon. Then we'll stop.
What's that?
Said you won't need heat in here pretty soon, and then we'll stop.
He heats it even if we're not here.
Only when we're outside.
I'm just saying, in the summer though, I doubt he does. Or
No,
do
in
you
the
air
summer
condition
it's-
it in the summer?
You
Is that
open everything up.
Okay.
It used to be a fucking wood burning stove in here until fuckers kept filling it with wood. Fucking
Wait,
800
what?
degrees.
What?
Yeah. They
Putting
used to-
wood in a wood
What
stove.
else would you put in there?
That's
No,
insanity.
Filling that motherfucker.
Oh, they put
Oh.
too much. Okay.
It was that, and I'd burn anything in there. So you get press board, plywood has a lot of glue. So there'd be times that a backdraft and a flame would shoot out the fucking thing.
Nice.
We were in here having a LAN party. It was like 30 degrees below zero outside, and we're all showing up in shorts and flip flops because it's fucking tropical in the garage. It's like 90 degrees.
Took forever to heat it up. Took a whole day to heat it, but once it got hot,
Once it
holy
got
fuck.
like, oh, it was just ridiculous.
We had
And
the
once you
doors
get all
open.
that hot air in there,
What's
swirling
all the
around.
And then we opened up the doors, which made it
No
worse.
wonder there was
'cause
a
then you have all that
backdraft
fresh
full of
air coming
farts.
in, and then the flame went.
Yeah.
Bunch of fucking dorks at a LAN party.
Whoever put Richie in charge of
Shooting-
the fire.
Yeah, what
That was
shooting
bad.
flame on their ass.
That tropical. Well, and then Tim's chili doesn't help, and our Taco Bell runs don't help.
Ugh.
Heart attack burgers don't help.
Doesn't help anybody with anything ever.
Heart attack burgers are amazing. Tim's like half-pound Big Macs using grilled cheese sandwiches for buns
Oh,
And
nice.
bacon.
and bacon.
And bacon.
think the bacon's gonna make any difference.
Right?
It does. It provides enough lubricant.
That's
to
lubrication.
cover the cheese.
Exactly, bacon grease.
Actually, I think there's more than enough. After you have the bacon and the grilled cheese. That was the last LAN party Nate came to. He just wiped his hand in his pants. There was a big old fucking grease stain on his pants.
You can see through the.
Yeah, oh, then.
See through his khakis.
Yeah, you had like 3-ply those paper plates because they were not lasting.
Yeah, that was an interesting. But
No one
it
had a problem
counteracted the
shitting.
cheese. Yep. Giving birth to that food baby the day after was much easier. Fucking Krieger still owes me alimony for that. One of the guys who was there, I gave birth to a food baby.
Child support or
I,
alimony?
whatever. Both.
Either. Both.
Both. Were you wed?
Both, double dip.
He gave birth to a food baby. I called him up and I'm like, was your meat I had in my mouth? So that must be what the problem was. You're the father. I called Maury.
Should have sent him a picture. It's a boy.
Looks just like you.
I will next time. Congratulations.
So you both had stories about the FBI.
Oh yeah. Well, mine was just. I thought it was funny that, like Paulie was saying, that Apple is whining now that the FBI won't release how they cracked their cell phone, and I'm like, you know what? It's kind of quid pro quo there. You wouldn't help them out. They shouldn't be helping your ass out
well,
either.
Well, I don't think help them out was the thing. Apple
No,
did
it
help
was-
them out.
Give us a fucking crack for this.
Apple gave them all the
They
information
could have
that was
opened
updated.
the phone. Apple could have unlocked the phone so that they could have done it. They refused to do that.
Apple would have had to write code to unlock.
But they
the
could
phone.
have done it.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they did.
Bullshit. Apple, they can unlock any phone they want to. And if you don't believe that, you have no idea how this technology works. Well, that probably is true too. But I'm just saying, they could have unlocked that phone just like that.
The guys that build the radar guns are the guys that build the radar detectors. That's how it works. It's capitalism.
If they didn't have a program to defeat the encryption, which they claimed they didn't,
I don't think they did at the time.
okay, then
But
how
now
would they
they do.
open it just like that?
Apple could have.
He's saying the FBI did.
Apple said they didn't have a
Yeah,
code to
bullshit.
beat that. Okay, you're assuming that, but you have no evidence to support that other than the fact that you want to believe that it's
Hold on,
true.
I can go get him a tinfoil hat.
What?
You got tinfoil?
Well, here's a point. So
Here's a
I
letter.
think we can all
I wish
all
I had
agree
a point. I would have had a
that
whole case of point. But go on. I'm sorry.
we can all agree that inevitably that that Apple could have
Yeah, they
have
could
much
have.
faster
Yes.
than anyone
Oh, yeah.
else. Right.
Because it was their tech.
Right. We can also agree that inevitably that phone was going to get opened.
Yep.
Yep.
How do you feel that you paid for that?
That I paid for
We
it?
all paid for that.
Oh, we did.
Well, yeah.
We all
yeah.
paid for
A
some.
federal agency
Thank
paid
God.
another group
Thank God,
to
though,
make
that they do everything to the lowest.
But they
bidder,
didn't
so
do it to the lowest bidder.
I was some Eastern European
that's how the
guy
government
probably
works.
crashed the phone.
That's better,
I'm
right?
serious.
Now we've got fucking Eastern Europe with. I mean, not that
No, they do.
figured
They
it out.
have.
Yeah, they
they
would've
have
figured it out.
actually.
Well,
underground.
the same
But
guys
now
who-
we paid them.
Yeah.
Instead of
But in
Apple
Apple's
paid them
defense, as a corporation, if they had provided that key, then other governments could have used that as precedent.
Well, not
to
only other governments,
get that
our
key.
government
They could have
could use
asked
it for
for it.
every phone.
Well, but if they
At that point,
provided,
you no longer
right.
need. You
And
say,
the thing is,
hey, I need this information.
well, they could have just opened the one phone though too.
Right.
they could have.
you don't know that would have happened because there were 12 phones that they had lined up that they wanted open.
Sure.
And once you open the first one, they're going to expect
That's
you to open the rest.
everything.
Right.
You
Sure.
set a precedent then.
Precedent, but they're not under obligation.
They
There's no
aren't.
contract or law that requires them to do it. That's been made clear.
No, but it
Right.
was a court order that said they had to. They were going to court to determine whether they were obligated.
Right.
If they had done it, that would have
That's a
created the
Now that
precedent.
but now the obligation has been defeated.
Right.
Right.
And they could open the fucking phones, and then I don't have to pay for a Yaroslavel to fucking
Right. Right.
hack into my brother's iPhone.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're paying somebody anyway.
What did you find that warranted all this hoopla? What did you find on their work phone? Because you got into
Well,
the
they were
burglars.
guilty. We found out that they were guilty.
Well,
Oh,
we-
yeah.
They did.
Yeah.
We knew
found out
that
they shot
before
him.
we shot him.
Found out the
Presumably, you would. I don't know what. Obviously, we don't know what they found.
Well,
But
'cause it was
presumably, they're trying to
The
find.
They had a
fact that
Coke
didn't
at the
say
Christmas
anything
party.
Makes me wonder what they actually did.
It makes you think that they're trying to find other connections.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
what they
that's
were
the-
looking
oh, yeah,
for.
that's totally what they
Okay,
were
but
looking
so
for.
the terrorists were using their work issued phones instead of their personal phones to make connections with other terrorists?
Well, actually, that's the funniest part.
Oh,
so
was it
if
yeah,
if,
this is a work issued
no,
phone.
right. So and,
But it was, and
It's not
Apple
like-
provided
That's not
them
gonna change
the information that was backed up
on the cloud
on the
from like
cloud for
2 months or something
well,
before it.
it had been updated a couple of days before it was the last
Okay.
update. But the terrorists did have non-work issued phones that the FBI had already cracked.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So this was a work issued phone.
Right, but
And
what
there's
difference
more
does it make to
irony
them
there,
which
though,
phone they fucking
is
use?
that
Because everybody has watched you
I
get a
think it
burner
was-
phone to do illegal things.
right, but it
We
was
all
this,
know that.
what is it, a county? Weren't they working for a county organization or something like that? And the county law states that if they give workers a phone, they're supposed to put this program on there,
Right.
So that that
No.
organization didn't do it.
No, the thing is, the FBI had the actual password, and somebody at the FBI reset the password, which is why they didn't have access to the phone.
That's their own
That's
fucking
even more
fault
funny.
then.
The
Jesus.
FBI reset the password after they had the phone in their possession, and that's why they couldn't get it.
But regardless of the fact,
Though that's not regardless, that's a big
well,
thing.
no, it is because in the end they paid somebody. I'm saying it's easy.
We paid
I
somebody.
just
It's cheap as
I think the whole reason behind it personally was because they wanted the American people to stand up and say, yes, get into that phone, so that they could justify intruding on the rest of our privacy again.
Again.
Oh yeah, because they need help doing that.
Right.
Exactly.
No, they wanted
Come on.
us to be complacent in that justification.
Because
Because
that's
they're
not
going to
there
crack
already.
it. And look,
Yeah,
They
because
can
they don't
go-
monitor
Where-
satellite
what world
traffic.
do you
right?
live
they
in,
could,
man?
they
Come on.
could clone the fucking phone anyway. We talked about
We
it.
talked about that.
You don't
Yeah.
need the password to clone the fucking phone. It's copying data. It can still be. You can copy encrypted data. It's just
Clone the
encrypted
phone
when you
and have the
copy.
one guy doing this.
Right.
for like
So clone the phone
4
100
days.
fucking times, and then you can try
Or
as
have
many
computer
fucking
programs
codes as you
track
want
it.
to on it.
Yeah.
It's not that. It's not rocket science.
Sure.
So
Ain't rocket appliances.
Maybe Billy Bobski, only charged him a few $1,000 to crack the phone.
Oh, it's
Well,
not
I
less
Well,
than
he has
that.
other uses for that.
I wouldn't have went to Billy Bobski. I would have been to Billy Bobkowitz.
Bobkowitz.
Oh, could have been. Could have been. You never know.
He's
Kowitz
far
a
much-
bitch.
Do you
he's
think he was
far much
cheaper
more
in his
better.
bid?
I don't care if he's
He has,
cheaper.
he
He's
has the
far
best
better.
encryption hack.
Yeah.
Well, no, because it's the lowest bid. So
The problem is I want to know what security we gain from this for our privacy trade-off. Because I think we.
What do you mean?
What
I
privacy
disagree that
trade-off?
I disagree there was a privacy trade-off.
what trade-off?
Allowing
do
the
you have an
government to
Apple
break
phone,
encrypt.
by the
Well,
way?
no, I don't.
Well, then there you go. So
Even if
you
you
didn't
did-
lose
That doesn't
anything.
matter. Whether I have an Apple phone or not is immaterial.
They already have cracks
We're
for all the
trading
rest of them.
security for the illusion of
Safety.
We're not
safety
trading
all
shit.
the time.
Dude.
I would agree with you if I thought they aren't just monitoring our satellite traffic.
Well, we already know
They
they
are.
are because
Right.
Edward Snowden.
And we've seen
Right.
the football fields.
Yes.
Oh
Data
yeah, the
storing.
data collection.
They're collecting
centers?
all
Yes.
the data.
All the data. They're
Metadata's
casting
not
a
data,
wide
so that's
net
legal.
and collecting all data.
Right, metadata's not.
No, it's not. Of course not.
As a guy who works in BI, I can tell you that.
And like the NSA and Homeland Security both told the FBI that we would have cracked it for you. It
Yeah.
wouldn't have been a big deal. So that two pieces of our government already can crack. the
Okay,
phone.
so then why was it in the news then? If it wasn't to try and
Why
sway
did
the
they need
American
Apple?
people?
It was a slow news day. Trump hadn't said anything all
Yeah.
day.
Probably.
He had to
Ted Cruz had to
call
talk about
anybody fat
strategic
or
carpet
beat
bombing.
it.
My thing is since they didn't want to cooperate, which was their right not to, they shouldn't expect
No, they.
the favor in return.
Oh no, I
And
don't
they
think
are.
should
That's
accept
what
it.
they're making kind of
Well, yeah,
a case
they're doing
out
the
of it
same
now.
thing the FBI did. It's just tit for tat. It's the exact same thing, flipped the other way.
Right.
What do you fucking do?
That's what I thought was fun. I'm
Oh
just
yeah,
like,
it's a little funny. It's ironic, but I expect
Too
him
bad.
to do it.
We,
I expect him to do it, and I expect him to lose. It's
And
fucking
that's
Apple.
more of our
and,
money.
And now it's Apple,
That's
and
more
now
of our
I'm not
money that
siding
we're
with
wasting.
Apple.
Right.
When I was siding with
Right,
Apple
but this
a
is
week
more of our
ago.
money we're wasting because the government's
Yeah,
going to pay
if
for
there's a
that
court
lawsuit
case,
too.
we're going to be paying for it.
They're good. We waste our money on all sorts of shit.
Right.
Which is ridiculous to me.
The most inefficient.
But that doesn't make it
government
acceptable.
money can buy.
I agree with you. The top 1%.
Banality does not make it acceptable.
I agree with you, except for you're the person who was just accepting that we're being spied on all the time.
No, we-
I wasn't accepting. I was saying
It's a
we
fact.
are.
It's,
And I'm
it's,
saying
it's the
fighting
reality of
this
the world
battle
we live in.
doesn't make any sense that that's a reason
Oh,
to be concerned about it. Now I see your point in saying that if it's like getting everybody to agree to the Homeland Security Act, right? Same concept. Fucking thought crime, right?
Right.
But
that's what it is.
That's what it is.
That's what hate speech laws are. They're thought crime. Really?
If you're not thinking anything bad, you got nothing to hide.
Touche.
I
There-
don't hide
there's a-
anything, and I think lots of bad things.
You were
Well, but
talking
that-
about burner phones. They're trying to pass some law, Congresswoman from California, trying to put forth a law saying that when you register any phone, even a burner phone, you have to give an ID, a real ID, which once it doesn't fucking matter. You give a fake ID and fucking register. But getting rid of the concept of burner phones,
I'm okay with that, I guess.
I don't really fucking care either way
Yeah.
because I'm not going to never have used a burner phone.
Well, I'm trying to think of a legitimate purpose that you would buy a
They
phone and
will
not
have to
register your name
Not
to it.
wanting to be followed.
They're
not
gonna
wanting
have to
someone
pry
go,
my burner phone from my dead cold
Yeah.
pants.
like,
But the concept of a burner phone, though, is you only use it a couple of times and
yes,
you throw it away.
and then you throw it away.
Okay? So there is, if you use it more than a couple of times, there is no
No, there's no
anonymity
It's
that
not a burner
you're
phone.
they already know who the fuck you are at
Yeah.
that point in time.
Yeah,
Right.
if you use it for more than a few phone calls, it's
Because
not
that
a burner.
metadata has already told them who you are.
Well,
Oh,
especially
yeah.
if it's an Android burner phone, because then they can find out where you went.
Right?
Well, if you haven't turned off
Apple
your
too.
location,
You still have to go
services.
online and clear.
Yep.
I just shared a link. for
Yeah, I
that.
saw that.
The FBI one that I was going to point out is, I don't know if you remember a couple of months, maybe a month and a half ago, when I pointed out that the U.S. government and us by proxy dealt in child porn for.
Like a month or
A
something
month?
like that.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember.
I
that
remember
story.
that one.
They are now going to court, and the FBI is trying to get an injunction to not have to explain how they found out or how they identified the Tor users in the trial. Because they identified the people who were using Tor,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and they're charging them. And one of the guys wants to know how he
How he
was
was
associated
identified.
with that account.
Are they, is that part of how they're trying to convict him?
Well, if they're saying we know that he has
Right,
it
they're
because
saying we know it was
he
you.
downloaded it.
Right.
And
Well,
they
they'll
can-
lose. Because that was the other part of this whole argument that they're making is that if Apple just waits for the first couple people that the FBI prosecutes now using
They'll have
their
to
new
tell
hack, they have to.
Well, they're going
Because
for a federal.
it's discovery, and then they're gonna, and it's gonna be new technology, so that you have to be able to challenge that technology
Right.
with your own experts in the court of law.
But that's
so
what they're going right now to. The FBI person said to the reporter, "It doesn't really matter how we unlock the door. It matters what we found once it was unlocked."
Well, you could put a gag order on it, though, right?
yeah,
Well,
they could. Well,
but what they're
And
trying,
say,
right.
yeah, your experts can challenge it, but
they can't say
They can't talk
what
about
it
it.
is.
Right.
we have to clear out the
An
courtroom
NDA.
and
NDA,
that kind
yeah.
of stuff. But they're right now saying they don't want to have to reveal how they did.
Yeah, but they're gonna lose that.
Yeah,
That's-
you-
Yeah.
I just think it's interesting that they're.
It's more of our money going.
I think they should actually
Jesus Christ,
prosecute
man.
the federal government, just like they should actually prosecute. Was
I
that
think they should.
Oconto
If-
County,
if-
Oconto County, or was it Shawano County? They waited 7 months to break up a meth ring. They should be charged for that because you're allowing the crime to
But
happen.
there's a big difference between we chose not to break up a meth ring. I'm not saying it's not bad, but there's a big difference between we decided not to break up a meth ring and we actively hosted child pornography
Right,
on
I
FBI
understand
servers
that.
and allowed people to download 20,000 items.
It's called a honeypot.
Fucking illegal.
There
I
was
know,
honey
pop-
I understand that, but still, as the governing agency,
the honey bit.
you're still supposed to stop the crime, and in
I
either
agree
way,
they
you're
should've-
allowing it to go.
I agree they should have stopped the crime. I'm just saying there is a difference between we didn't stop criminals from doing what criminals do
And we committed
and
a
we
crime.
actively committed a crime.
There's certain laws that Ben really is passionate
Okay,
about. and ones
but
he
in the
really
same
doesn't
aspect,
about.
in the same aspect, if Paulie and I are doing something unlawful, and you
Gross.
witness
That
it,
would never
Gross.
happen.
and
Never
you witness
happened.
it, and you don't say nothing, you can get nailed for accessory.
That's
So, should they not be nailed for accessory? In either case. Well, except in that one, because they actually did it. That was not an accessory. They actually did it in
Could-
a pedophile case.
if you see it and you don't say anything, you're an accessory. I don't know
You
if that's
can be
necessarily
charged
true.
as
You
an
could
accessory.
be, depending on such circumstances, though.
But again, they also claim that you can be charged with obstruction for not answering their questions too, which they legally can lie to you and say is true,
yes,
but it is not true.
right.
They legally can lie about it,
Yep.
but it's
Not if you ask for a lawyer,
not if you ask for a lawyer,
which is
Well-
the first thing you ever do.
unless you're under
they
18.
still
No,
legally lie.
the first
about it.
thing you ever do is you get up and you
can't.
walk out
They
unless
can't
you've been
talk to
Yeah,
charged.
unless
a
it's true.
lawyer.
Hey, are you charging me with anything?
Just
Am I
nothing
being
that you
detained?
say.
Am I being
Is it
detained?
admissible?
No? See you later.
And do not, by any means, ask for anything while you're there. Not even a cup of
Oh,
water.
no.
And if you do get a cup of water,
Eat the
bottle.
styrofoam.
Because Fingerprints, motherfucker.
Fingerprints and DNA.
My kids are gonna look so guilty if they ever go to jail. If they ever get questioned by the cop.
Just start eating.
Well, because I'm like,
And then they
if you
start
ever
chewing their fingers off.
if you ever get called into the police department, keep your hands in your pocket. Don't ask for anything. Don't touch the fucking table. Don't touch a doorknob.
But their fingerprints shouldn't mean much, unless they've been printed for some reason.
Well, but if they're comparing them to a crime,
Did they commit the crime?
well, I don't know.
They're kids. They
Probably.
Probably.
Have you met my children?
Nope.
Probably.
Just the one you made wear the chauffeur hat.
they're kids. They've been fingerprinted. Every kid's been
Actually,
fingerprinted
they
nowadays.
have because the schools do it now
Yeah.
Really?
in
Yeah.
case of abduction.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Fucking, I got fingerprinted when I was a kid for that same kind
I
of thing.
did not.
I did too.
Me too.
Yep.
Wait,
I'm
that
on the
wasn't for
fucking-
abduction.
Fuck, I've been fingerprinted
a lot.
3-4 times. Never mind.
I'm on the fucking grid, man.
Anyway, it doesn't matter if it matters that they hosted the server, but they should be found. The government should be found guilty just as
Yeah.
much as the people.
What does
who are
that
doing
mean,
it.
though?
Yeah, no shit.
What?
What does that mean? How
What
do
does
you?
that entail?
At what level do you enforce that?
Do we then arrest the FBI?
I think we should.
I don't want to pay for that.
You should. You should. Not only.
There's a trial involved.
Not
again.
only should you.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. What could be worse in prison than a cop and a pedophile? A government agent.
Yeah.
A government agent who happens to be a cop and a pedophile.
Yeah.
General Pop for that son of a bitch.
I mean, honestly, that's all kinds of motherfucking wrong, right
Oh,
there.
it is.
To me, that's no different than
Well, but
being in the middle of a
the
war
problem
and
is,
someone saying go shoot that kid, and you're like, I ain't gonna do it. And then he says, you do it. Hold on. And he
Okay.
says, you do
I'm
it,
curious where this is going.
or you're done, and I'll fucking kill you. Or you go to prison now. And someone goes and shoots the kid anyway. That person who shot the kid is liable for not going. Fuck you. I don't have to shoot a kid. That's unlawful.
Well, it depends on what the kid was doing.
True.
right? If they were wearing a uniform.
No.
Or a hoodie and a bag of Skittles.
Not
No,
anymore.
because if they're not wearing a uniform, then they're not a combatant and they're not covered by the Geneva Convention. The
But-
Geneva Convention only covers uniformed personnel of a duly established military
The
unit.
Geneva Conventions are meaningless. I think.
Apparently,
I think, well,
we have a
Cruz is-
presidential candidate who wants to carpet bomb and another one who wants to murder
Carpet
the children.
strategically carpet bomb them and kill their families. Geneva Convention doesn't mean shit.
It never has. It only matters if you lose.
It's like the
Right.
Prime
No,
Directive.
that's exactly
Yes.
what it is.
It's like the Prime Directive. It's
It's
only ever honored in the breach.
It's enforced by the it's enforced
By the
to
winner.
the looters, by the winners for the losers.
Yep.
But because we've been accused of violations a lot and we just never show up.
Yeah.
We do it all the
Exactly.
time.
That.
We do. The U.S. is brought up on charges of war crimes in the World Court, and we're just like, no,
Yeah.
and we don't go. And what are they going to do? Send UN troops to go get us?
Yeah,
Because those are usually,
a good percentage of them are ours anyway.
and the ones that aren't ours, most of them are allies.
I was gonna
Because
say,
like
they're
Great
Canadian.
Britain is not going to help pick up Americans to
Nor
bring them to
Canada,
work.
which,
Or Canada.
or
Yeah.
France or Germany.
Well,
at this
France
point.
might try, but
No.
they lose anyway.
Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Legion's cool.
Well,
They
plus,
lost
I'm not so
hey,
sure
hey,
Canada
they only
would.
surrendered in one war. They actually kicked
And they're
ass in a
foreign,
lot.
by definition.
Right. right.
They're not French by definition.
They're not French by definition, which is why they're.
But
Yes.
for several hundred years prior to World War I or World War II, the French were actually a fairly badass military. It's just that one time they caved really fast.
More than one time.
more than one time.
Bonaparte knew his shit.
He wasn't French.
He
He was Corsican.
but French people,
And he hired German soldiers.
right.
like everybody,
He knew what to do.
Yeah.
Right.
except for those pesky WWs, everybody who fought hired Germans.
Hessians.
Those headless bastards. are really
Indochina.
tough.
It's another French loss.
See, they lose.
I didn't say they didn't lose. I just said they didn't
Yeah, they
surrender
went through
Oh,
the
yeah,
ones
true.
that
We're talking about
lost.
surrender.
without really fighting, except that one
Except
time.
the one time.
World War II.
Yeah.
They also switched sides. Half of them.
Yeah.
That
They
was a
weren't-
really bad time.
those
one
weren't
time,
French.
though.
Those were Vichy.
I mean, seriously. It was one time that really counts for
It's just a black period in
all the
history.
rest of their history.
Well, considering we could only participate in like 2 of the major world wars.
2 of what? Like,
Wait,
Oh, I
how many
suppose-
have there been?
Well,
I was only ever taught it 2.
we only ever named 2 of them, but there were wars that encompassed.
Napoleon, the
almost
Napoleonic
all
Wars.
yeah. Well, the Persians made it pretty far. Romans did.
Romans
too.
did.
Romans
But
made it through the entire civilized world.
At the time.
At the
No, they
time,
didn't,
yeah.
not east.
Persians did
Oh,
the
okay.
same thing.
They weren't civilized; they were
Persians
savages.
didn't make it west.
Well,
Not past Greece,
No. They didn't even really make it into Greece. At least not
right?
very
Because
long.
Right.
Leonidas and the 300. I
I
saw
saw
that.
the movie.
It's actual footage.
Yeah, Leonidas and the
It
300
really
Spartans
happened. We
and
had
the like
we had
40,000
film.
Greek soldiers.
We had Phil.
Exactly how it happened.
No, those weren't Greek soldiers. Did you not hear their argument? They were potters and bakers.
Yep.
I mean, that's valid
Potters,
because
bakers, and
Spartans
blacksmiths.
were really that much better, but
Well, that's actually not valid because the way their armies lined up, all the good troops always lined up on the right side, and when you face them, Spartans' best troops were always facing the weakest
The
troops of the
weakest.
other people. But of course, Spartans did nothing besides bugger each other and fight because they had slaves to do everything.
Well,
they
I'd
had.
really hate to leave in the middle of a great history
Oh,
farce,
shush.
but
What did you have, Paulie? Anything
nothing.
this week?
I got nothing. I think we covered it all.
Seriously?
The obstructionists. I think we covered it all.
Yeah, we pretty much covered it.
A burning person was
Oh, and the Supreme
saved
Court,
from being
we covered
shot.
that too.
that's good. I don't really want anybody
they,
shot.
they showed up at my house when I wasn't home. They gave my wife the literature.
To burn people.
Oh,
Or to
I don't
shoot
know.
them.
My wife, she saved it for me. She goes, "Oh look," she goes, "You just missed them," and I'm like,
feel the burn.
"Damn it!" I said, "You could have shot him for trespassing or something."
No, it's like cross the threshold.
They
They're
did.
Oh,
They're all assholes. It doesn't matter
Into
who
the
you vote
house?
for.
Yeah.
yeah.
Did she open the door?
Literally
Yes.
none of it matters.
Well, they can't cross the threshold if you don't open the door. Was it like
Well,
the Incredible Hulk?
They can.
There's a difference. If the person in the house opens the door, or if the person outside the house
Oh, yeah,
opens
that's a
the door.
difference.
Yes.
There is a difference.
Yeah, I know.
Because if you
But they
are
wouldn't
inside the
know
house
if
and
they were
open the
dead.
door,
They couldn't
it
have
is
said anything.
Yeah,
inviting them
exactly.
in.
No, they opened the door. Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
If I was gonna vote, I
That's what
would
I'm
vote
saying.
for Bernie Sanders.
If you were going to vote, you're not going
It
to vote.
doesn't matter anyway. We've already made that point.
My not voting, I would vote if there was a candidate I thought was worthy of it.
Cthulhu.
No, he dropped out. He's not evil enough.
Ah, shit. His tan isn't orange enough.
The squirrel man.
I'm voting for Paulie.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I'm right,
I'm
Paulie.
running.
I'm actually thinking about
No,
doing
say
a
it.
write-in this year.
There we go. We might have.
I thought about voting for Pete,
5 votes.
because fuck it.
Why won't
Yeah.
you just vote for Trump then?
Because he wants evil all the way.
It's true.
Trump, there's lines that
Because-
Trump
And
won't
Pete
stop
only
crossing.
wants
I
a
feel
little
like
evil.
I feel like I could get. I
This
would
is
have better
so
odds
good.
of surviving a Bamfy office.
Do you
'Cause I
watch
know
the show?
him.
Do you watch the show?
No.
I've never
No,
either, except when
no,
the
our
show-
numbers show that he doesn't.
Our numbers show no one watches the show.
There's like 4 people.
Right, because I was telling
Which I
you
think
before
is his
you got here, I
household.
said we should
No,
have a
no,
show.
Rich
I don't
doesn't
watch
Yeah,
it.
I
Oh,
don't
Rick's
really
our
watch
Richie
it.
one.
However
I
many people
click on
supposedly
it.
watch
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, I
Wait,
know
we're
that.
showing. Oh, I know what we
Chat
talked
with
about.
Yeah.
us, and we'll
I remember
discuss
that.
this
Oh,
stuff.
look, that's
It's
what
like,
I'm getting edited
I
out.
announced every week.
Well, not
I'm
quite.
like, oh.
Not every week. Periodically.
I'm like,
We'll see
I'm
you
like,
guys.
how many?
Yeah, catch you later, Paul.
See you later, Paulie.
Yeah,
I'm like,
okay.
my
Everybody
reasoning
else's.
is actually different than everybody else. I got that point across, but because I don't care about the women's right. I don't care about the women's right.
I don't care about the women's right.